Stitcher, and I'm back for video number 7. It is June 13th, 2020, and this video I'm going to be showing my under the bed box. If you're not familiar with an under the bed box, it is a box or a bag or whatever you want, where you put your finished stitch pieces that you have not fully finished. You've just finished the stitching on them. A lot of us have them. I have to be in the right mood to be able to finish. So it goes in the bed and in the box and under the bed. But that'll be the main focus for today. I do want to thank everybody who's been coming back and watching my videos. I appreciate you subscribing and liking the videos. And if you want to put a comment in the box below, I appreciate it. I enjoy reading all of them. But I have hit a milestone this time. I am at over 3,000 subscribers. So I can't believe I got that many people that are following me. I thought I'd be lucky to get 100, but anyway, 3,000 is a big number. So I have a giveaway that I'm going to be doing a little later on, so stick around for that. I have a few whips that I've been working on. I haven't stitched a whole lot, but I have some different whips, and I guess that's about it as far as the plans for today. Like I said, I haven't stitched a lot. I don't know whether I got burned out stitching so much on vacation. I thought when we got back from vacation I was just tired and I hadn't been stitching a lot. But I don't know. I just can't seem to get in the swing of things. I don't know whether I'm just in a rut or what, but anyway, I do have some stitching to show you. We've been working outside some since we got back from vacation. Things kind of got behind, and when we left on vacation I didn't have my little raised garden bed planted, so I had to get that done. I just done that Monday. I hadn't even been in the mood to do that, but my husband had built me a raised garden bed last year, and it's just about 4 foot wide, and I think it's 12 feet long, and I just put a few things in there, a few vegetables in there. So I didn't get them planted till I think it was Monday of this week, well, Monday of last week, since this is Monday. Did I say that? This is Monday, June 13th. So because this is take number 2, so I don't know what I've said. But anyway, I got some things planted in the little bed, and I have green beans that are up about this far, so everything's coming up. I got green beans, some beets, carrots, and a couple of squash plants. So doesn't produce a lot, but I don't want something that's going to be too much for me to handle. So worked there, been working in my flower beds, trying to get the weeds pulled out of there. Got poison ivy from working in my flower bed. Our neighbors, when they moved in, they were cleaning up their yards, and they were talking about they had so much poison ivy over there. And I said, really? Because, we've been here 5 years and we've never seen poison ivy in our yard. So, and I've never had it, because if it's out there, I would get it. My daughters and I both, both of my daughters and I, if we get poison ivy or poison oak, or my one daughter got poison sumac one year, and we always end up at the doctor for a steroid shot. But anyway, we have poison ivy this year, so I have poison ivy, and I didn't see it until I'd already pulled it. But I washed my hands. How I can pull it with my hands, and I don't have poison ivy on my hands, but I have it on several other places, so I don't know how it does that. But anyway, but this morning I was going to get ready to record this video, and a couple lawnmowers started up across the street. We have Presser Performing Arts is is a building across the street from us. They have a huge yard. Back in the day, it was college for ladies, and they have the old dormitory over there, and the stage, and I guess offices and stuff. But anyway, it's now become a performing arts center, so that's really nice. And through the summer, they do day camps for the kids, so I see them out playing, or they have their lunch outside, so it's kind of fun. But anyway, just as I got everything pulled together, 2 of the big 0 radius turning lawnmowers started up, and I thought, well, so much for that. I'll have to wait till they stop. So I went outside and had a soda with my husband. He took a little break. We had our coffee out on the porch this morning, which we like to try to have our coffee outside in the mornings. When we moved into this house, we built a back porch onto it that's screened in. So mosquitoes like me a little too well, so I could never really enjoy being outside. We've tried spraying the yard. We've tried fogging. They still come around. But anyway, we built this porch on, and we had our coffee out there this morning, but it was already really muggy. They have a heat advisory out for, I think, the next 3 days for Missouri, for our area. It's supposed to be over 105 heat index for I think the next 3 days. So you'll find me right inside the house. I went out there and had that soda with him, so he took a break with me. We took the dogs out, let them run around in the yard a little bit, but when it's hot like this, they don't go out much. I don't go out. So we are in for the day. But my husband said he wasn't staying outside all day, but so far it's 20 till 1, and he's been out ever since we got done with coffee. So he has a little boat he goes out to the lake in, and it's got a hole in it. Actually, it's got several holes in it, I think, and he's going to try to find them and get them patched up. So I don't know. He was out yesterday, and he said he thought he overheated a little too much, so I hope he doesn't stay out too long today. And I've told him, and if you got a husband, it's like, I know, I'll be fine. So anyway, that's about all we've been doing. Gonna get started on this. Last time I had recorded, I had showed you my May calendar, but I had not totaled up anything for the month. I did not participate in Mania. I just have so much going on that I just decided not to do Mania. I've done it for the last 3 years, but I decided not to do it this year. So I just stitched on what my Whipco board, well, can't really say that either, but Whipco kind of went on the wayside also, because when we left towards the end of April and was gone most of May, I took several projects with me to stitch on, but I didn't know what numbers were going to be called, and I have about 25 whips, so I wasn't taking all 25 whips and then have them call the numbers and work on those. So I just grabbed, 6, 8, 10 projects and threw them in the camper, and that's what I stitched on whenever I wanted to. So when we got back, my Whipco board was a total disaster. I finally sat down and got it all cleaned up on my laptop and printed out a new copy of it. So let me show you on my Whipco board. This is my Whipco board. So everything in green is a goal that I have met. These 2 blues and this darker blue, they're supposed to be the same color blue, but they have been called, but I have not met my goal completely yet on them. So I still have to do that. And number 14 is a spring pot sampler. It was called for this month. Consider the Lilies was also called for this month, and I have met my goal on Consider the Lilies because I stitched on it on vacation. And so right now, oops, I have a fan over there that's blowing, so I'm gonna have a little issue with it, but it gets so hot in here with the door shut. So this one here is the spring pot sampler, and I'm working on it right now. So that's what my regular whip go is. And then I have my ornament whip go board. And you can see all of those 4 have not been, the goals are not met on any of those. And I did color in, but it's hard to see, and I didn't realize it until I printed it out, but the gray doesn't show up very much. But the grays are projects that are completely finished. So these are just all ornaments that I'm starting and trying to finish them. If not, at least make pretty good headway on them. So anyway, that was my whip go. For May, I had, as far as whip go, it looks like number 13, 14, and 8 was called. I think it's 13 is the free space, and I went ahead and put a project in there. So I worked on Consider the Lilies. I'm working on Spring Pot Sampler, and then Cape Cod Boys, I haven't even started that yet. So that's one that I need to do. But for May, I showed this to you before, but I just hadn't totaled up everything. But I did, for May, I had 8,294 stitches for the month. And this is where it's really bad. I did on total days that I stitched 22 of 31 days. So there was 9 days in May that I did not stitch at all, which is just not usually the way I stitch. I had 1 new start, and then I also had 2 finishes. So also I stitched on 5 projects that in May. I stitched on Calendar Girls, On the Beach, Boohoo, Consider the Lilies, and Halloween Hijinks. I started the Calendar Girls May. I finished Boohoo Owl. I finished Calendar Girls May and On the Beach. And I think I have that wrong. I had 3 finishes, not 2. 3 gold stars instead of 2 gold stars. So anyway, that's my May that is finally all caught up. This is June. Oh, that fan's gonna be a problem. Okay, so in June, I've already had the first 2 days I didn't stitch, but since then I've been stitching more. I've got Halloween Hijinks that I've been stitching on, Mary 395 by Hands Across the Sea, then Spring Pot Sampler, I've worked on it. I'll get my elves on that. It's a Lizzie Kate ornament, which was on my Whip Go ornaments. Santa's Got the Goods, I started it. It's also a Lizzie Kate. So that's what I've got so far for this month. I gotta scoot up. My stool is about 3 inches too tall for my legs. But if I sit down in the chair, I'm gonna be so low that I don't think you're gonna be able to see anything very well. My husband raised my ironing table up about 3 inches the other day, so it's taller. So in my last video, I had asked everyone, I had finished On the Beach by Tra La La. And on this pattern, they showed the little girl, and she doesn't have any eyes. I thought that was, I don't know, it was kind of weird. But I had asked y'all what you thought, if you thought she needed eyes or not. And I had several people that commented and said, yes, she needs eyes. So I tried French knots, and they weren't even, because that's the way my French knots are. I'll have a little bit tiny one and then a great big one. And so I wasn't happy with that, so I took those out. And I just put 2 little, kind of like half stitches on there, so you can see her face is a little bit better there now. She doesn't have a nose or a mouth, but I think she's okay with it. And so that one is finished and is now in the under the bed box. So that one, I think that's, let me look here. I think that is, yeah. Let me start on whips. So on whoops, I already had all these open. So on my whips, I have the spring pot sampler. I have to scoot up. Okay, spring pot sampler. It's by the Historical Sampler Company. It's an old pattern. Actually, I bought these as kits. I bought all 4 seasons, and this is the spring. So I have summer. I think it's summer. We'll look after a while because it's in the under the bed box. So anyway, I have been working on this, and I have it on my lap stand. So here's what I've done so far. And I didn't want to take this off my scroll rod, so let me kind of scroll it up. So there it is. So I got to put a couple of big motifs down at the bottom and a band across the bottom and the border and the word spring. So it does go fairly fast, so I don't think it's going to take too long if I stitch on it to finish it up. I did put up at the top on the pattern, it had HS 2000, or it had HS 05. Well, I think that's probably Historical Sampler Company. I don't know. And I'm thinking that maybe they came out in 2005. So I just left it. I didn't care whether it had my initials on it or a current year. And so I just left it like that. So my next project I worked on since the last time, I had decided to get Mary 395 out. I haven't really done a lot with Mary, but if you remember from another video, if you watched it, this is Mary 395, 1869, and that is the year that our house was built. It was in 1869. This is the only sampler that I have found. I decided to Google cross-stitch patterns from 1869, and this was the only one that I could find because I just thought it'd be neat to have it in the house. So anyway, I started for a short time on this. This is on 40 count that I dyed myself, and this is all the farther I've gotten. I did the B and the C right here and here, and then I thought I really ought to get on some of my Whipco stuff that was called. So I really didn't get very far on that. And she's going to be a big piece anyway. Next, I pulled out my Halloween hijinks because that was on my Whipco. And I don't really enjoy stitching on this piece. But I do, throw my bag over there. I don't really enjoy stitching on it, but it's so darn cute that I want to work on it as far as getting it done and doing something with it. But I kind of have to make myself do it. So this, I showed this last time, and I made quite a little bit of progress on it. I finished the little ghost that's down here. I did this fence with the 3 pumpkins. I did, let me see, let me make sure my ink pen's not out. I believe these 3 right here. I did this leaf. Like I said, I did the ghost. I think these were already done. This little guy, I've got some things that look kind of funny right now, but there's a long stitch that's going to go on here where the spider's going to hang down, and I didn't want to do that kind of stuff until the end. So there's some little things. I know there's something that goes in this little box here, but I do have to go back and do a few other things to it. But I have stopped on this one now, and I'm working on other stuff. So my goal was to do 6. My goal for Whipco was to do 6 of these blocks, so I did more than 6. So I'm good. I met my goal for Whipco. And then on vacation, I had worked on heartstring sampleries, Consider the Lilies. And I don't remember if I showed you. I don't think I stitched on that now that I said that. I think I just showed this last time. Whoops. But yeah, I haven't stitched on this, I don't believe. I'd have to look back on my book. But anyway, this is my heartstring samplery. So, and I didn't iron anything. It's going to get folded right back up, and I just don't want to keep ironing stuff every time. So that is considered Lily's. I say when I get that done, I want to start His Eye is on the Sparrow, but I don't know if I'll live long enough to get that done. Okay, that's what I've been working on as far as with WIPGO. I did start a couple of new ones. This was also on my WIPGO board, and this, I'm not sure what, it's either May or June. I don't remember, and I didn't look to be that specific about it. But this is Lizzie Kate, Santa's Got the Goods, Santa 2008. And it comes with a star and some little buttons. But what I always do with my Lizzie Kate patterns, I do them over one thread. I usually use a 28 count, and I stitch them over one, and then I make them into Christmas ornaments, and they turn out really cute. So this is where I'm at on this one. And I started this just a few days ago. And yeah, I know I have a lobster. I have Christmas needle magnets, but you know, I had to walk upstairs and get it off my board, and I thought, nah, this lobster's stuck on my lamp pole, so it's got a lobster for a Christmas needle magnet. Then another start that I did was also another Lizzie Kate ornament, and it's I'll Get My Elves on That, Santa 2009. And I'm also doing it on 28 count over one. I used all the called for colors for it. And all I got done so far, here we go, is the little tree. And I think the start of one package. So haven't gotten too far. And if you see all this, this is just scrap fabric that I cut in strips and serge around them. It keeps my Q-snaps tight. This is fabric, just some old scrap fabric also that I cut my fabric just a little bit larger than what I need to finish off with. And then I just sew it on there. That way I can get it in my Q-snaps, because if I was to cut this piece and put it in my Q-snap, there's not that much room here, so I wouldn't be able to get my hand really in there to do any stitching. So I just sew like a 3-inch strip all the way around and do that. And yes, I have a little crab needle minder on that one. So that is all my stitching. And I'll go through haul, which is very brief, and then we'll get to the under the bed box. So all I have for haul, I did get my Just Cross Stitch magazine in the mail recently, and I don't know if everybody's got it or not, so I'm not going to do any flip throughs. There is a Mill Hill kit on the back that I think is so cute that I would like to have, and it's Santa's clothes are, let me get that a little closer. There, Santa's clothes are hanging on the line. I'd like to do that. And then I bought this one, Roberta from the Sable Stitcher. I was watching her Flosstube the other day, and she showed from the Calico Confectionery that she had made this pillow, and I love this pillow. She did a really nice job on it, and I had to have it. So I went to their Etsy shop and I bought this. And have quite a bit of them of patriotic pieces that I have made. So I think in my next video will be close enough to 4th of July that I'll show you my patriotic stuff. I didn't get it out in time for Memorial Day because when we got back in May, around the 20th of May, 25th of May, I still had Easter stuff out from when we left. So I had to box up all my Easter stuff, which was way past Easter, but I had to box it all up. And then I was like, I don't want to drag all my patriotic stuff up right away. So I just waited, and I finally got it up this last week. So, all right. Well, here's the under the bed box. I've tried to pair patterns up so I can show you the patterns. They may be in print, they may not be in print because this is years of work. Some of it's years ago, some of it's fairly recent. But some of it I don't have the patterns for. This is one. I know I have the pattern. I did this a couple of years ago. I used to get rid of my patterns. I used to just sell them on one of the secondary markets or eBay or Stash and Load or whatever. I used to sell my patterns, and then I decided I didn't really, I regretted it after selling them. Even though I may never go back and stitch them, I still like hanging on to my patterns, and it's just fun to go back and look at them. I was sitting in the floor in my quilting room the other day, and I keep all my patterns in those plastic magazine file boxes, and I'll have like A for everything, all the designers that start with A, and then B is all the designers that start with a B. Blackbird has its own file container. I think Blackbird and Blue Flower are in one together because I could get those all together. But once I get so many, I have to put them in multiple containers. So some of them are that way. Little House Needleworks is in its own. Blackbird's in its own with like I said, I think the Blue Flower. There's just a lot of them that I've accumulated so many that I have multiple containers. But I sit down and I pulled these and I thought, okay, I can't think of the designer, but I went through, I have all my charts that I currently have now on my phone, so I could pull up what I thought the name was of this piece, but I couldn't find it, so I don't know. Like I said, I stitched this a couple of years ago, so I should have the pattern, but I don't. So, wow, I'm getting a really big pile. Let me scoot this stuff down. And then this one, I think, is by Carriage House Samplings or Kathy Barrick. I'm not sure. I even have it stretched on the foam core. All I need is a frame. But let me do it this way. So I don't even know the name of this piece, so I could not find the pattern for it. But I've got tons of frames in the basement. I just need to measure it and have my husband cut it for me and get it glued together and nailed, and I haven't done that. This one is a big one, and y'all are familiar with it. This is not modern folk embroidery. Let me think. Fox and Rabbit, or Linens and Threads, I think. This is Brendan and Karen and Brenda from Fox and Rabbit or Linen and Threads. This is their mystery sampler from, I think this is 2020's mystery sampler. So I used a Threadworks color. I don't know what color it is, but I only used one color on it. It was Threadworks was originally owned by Needle Necessities, and I had a couple of skeins, and I thought, well, I'm going to use it, and then I was afraid I was going to run out, so I got online, and I found out that Needle Necessities had been bought out by Threadworks. So I tried to match the color up because their numbers aren't the same. It would have been nice if they could have just kept the same numbers, but the numbers aren't the same, and I had no idea, but I just kind of guessed at it, and it came in and it matched. I was so surprised. I could not see a color difference in that at all. So I didn't pull the pattern for that because I'm sure you all are very familiar with it. This pattern, I know I have, again, but I have got to get organized with my patterns because I do have stacks of patterns and boxes of patterns that are not where they're supposed to be. But this is Mrs. Lincoln's sampler. It's a First Lady series. There's, I did find it in my phone, in my spreadsheet. And I also found Eleanor Roosevelt's and one other one. Can't remember who the other, there's 3 First Ladies. I don't know if that was the only ones they did or not, but I really like this one. It's got the train, where Lincoln's casket was on the train. And then there's drums. And there's Mary. And then 1818 to 1882. And what's that say? Love is eternal. Oh, trying to read this backwards. And then Lincoln is under the tree there on the grass. So I think this is really pretty. I just haven't done anything with it. Oh, and one time I tried to play with my initials and see about trying to get it some kind of neat little design that I could do with my initials, and I played around with it and then didn't do anything else. I'm lucky I get it finished, so it's very rare I get my name or initials, either one, on them. My husband doesn't like that. He thinks I should get my name on them all. This one is either country cottage needlework or little house. I have a piece of fuzz tickling me. So this is Mermaids. Don't know if that's the title of it. This again should be a pattern I have, but I can't find it. I thought it was really cute. I was going to frame it and put it in our camper, but I thought it was very cute. The little mermaids, they have beads. They have their little, let me get up here close. They have their little pearl necklaces on. So I think they're cute. And that fabric, all of these, I couldn't tell you if I changed the threads or if I changed the fabric. I have no idea. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to do better since I started doing my Flosstube. So these should be, as I get through some of these older ones, my newer starts, I'll have the thread and the floss count, or the fabric count and all on it. This is Waxing Moon Designs. Yes, I was guessing. Waxing Moon Winter House Trio. I've done 2 of these. I still have the 3rd one to do. First of all, I did this one. This is winter. And I think these are really cute. I have almost every one of Waxing Moon's trio patterns. I just think they're all so cute. But I did that one, and then I decided to do, let's see, that was winter. So the next one says snowy, and that is this one. And I did it over 1 thread. So I'm going to make it into ornaments, or into an ornament. The other one's too big for an ornament. But this shows you when you stitch 2 over 2 and 1 over 1. It'll show you the scale of it. But I think the 1 over 1 is pretty, let me stand up, pretty cute. I did not put snowflakes along the bottom. It's not done. Look at this. it's supposed to have snowflakes along there. I wonder if I could put snowflake buttons on. Maybe that's the idea I had to begin with. I don't know. I may have to check into that, see if I can find some tiny snowflake buttons. Because I hate stitching with white. So I might go back and just see if I can't find some tiny white snowflake buttons. So this one was a free pattern, and I think it's from Sandman. It's I did that one last year or this year. I know it's, do I have it dated? Of course not. Anyways, happy Halloween. So I did that. This is a Heatherfield. I don't know if they still make Heatherfield. It's, I think it's a wool fabric, but it's got, you can tell it's wool. I mean, it just has that wool feel and that wool look. And then I used 2 green buttons for the cat's eyes and the spider's eyes. So I think that might be a freebie. I'm not sure, but I think it is. This is another one of the waxing moons. And I couldn't find this one. This is, it says treats. So I think that's real cute. I like the colors. I like the bunting along the bottom. So I got that one. This was just one of those like little old 99-cent kits. I think my husband probably found this in a storage unit, that because he buys storage units, and I just thought, it's something to stitch up real quick, so I got it. Sometimes I'll do something like this, just sitting out on the back porch. This was a kit. Get the threads off of it. Golly. This was a kit I bought years ago. And threads and dog hair. I know the box it came in, but I can't think of the designer, so you all probably would know it when you see it. You may be familiar with it. There's a whole bunch of them, but it's put your big girl panties on and deal with it. I did that one. It's supposed to have this funky chicken over here, but I didn't like stitching on this, and I thought, I'm probably not ever going to put this in my house. I don't even know why. At one time I thought it was cute, I guess. So I didn't do the chicken. I don't know what to do with it. It's just not my thing anymore. This one I did fairly recent. It was on my Whipco board. This is another Lizzie Kate. It was in, I can't remember if it was in one of those small cardstock pieces that's just by itself, or whether it was in, you know, a lot of times you could get Lizzie Kate and there'd be 3 or 4 small projects, and I don't know, it might have been one of those, but I think this was one of those little cards. So I put a little button up there for his nose. And instead of snowflakes, I used some white beads. These ornaments, I'll be more likely to get them done because I've done them all this year, and I can do ornaments quick. So this was also on my Whipco board. It was called Jingle Jingle. I know this one is in one of those patterns of Lizzie Kate that had 3 or 4 patterns in it, and then I just put these little snowflake charms on there. And this, they used their stitch 2/2. This one was also, I think it was in the same one as Jingle Jingle. And then she has a snowflake that goes at the top, and I just get those little plastic, I mean, you can get them at Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby, I think carries them too. But just those plastic buttons that are novelty buttons. I just cut the shanks off the back and then glue them on when I have it completely finished. This one I did a long time ago. Spooky. Well, it says snow and then spooky. You can't hardly see the snow from here, but yeah, snow spooky. Then I have a bat from Just Another Button Company. And I don't know the color of this fabric either. This one I did this for my mom. Gosh, it's got to have been back in the 80s, I would say. But I did this and had it framed, and it was hanging in her house. And when she passed away, then I brought it home. I took it out and washed it. She was a smoker, and then she eventually quit smoking, and my sister was a heavy smoker. So it was really bad. It was really yellowed because it hung in their house for so long. But anyway, I got it fairly clean, but I'll probably never do anything with it either. It'll just stay under there. This is Historic Sampler Company. It is, oh, now look what I did. I'm going to have to go back and rip out. Look. DG 2021. Now I'm going to have to go back to spring and rip out HS 05 and put DG 2021. You never know with me. I never know. But anyway, I really like this one. And it's the autumn one. Autumn pot sampler. So, yeah. I'm not very good at making notes, so I guess that'll be on my list to go back and redo the other one. This one I know is a free pattern, but I don't know by who. It's a Live Simply. Let me see if I can put something behind it. Oh, see if the paper will work. This is Live Simply, and it's done on, looks like maybe 32 count. Black linen, and I used some kind of a variegated. I'd say it's probably Threadworks, but I did that one. Again, the fabric at the bottom is just so I could get it in a Q-snap. Okay, I keep sliding off of my bench. Now, Live Simply, I evidently liked it so well that I stitched it twice and didn't know it. So this one is also with a variegated, and it's probably Threadworks. And it is stitched one thread over one thread. This is an even weave. And I don't know, I'd say it's probably a 28 count. And again, my little scraps of fabric on the side. Now this one was what they call doodles, and I've showed this one recently. This was, oh gosh, can't think of the brand, can't think of the company, but they were called doodles. They came in like a little 2-inch plastic box that was real thin. It came with the pattern and a button of some kind. This one was called See Us for Christmas, and you can see it has the little candy on there. So I did that on pink fabric. It showed it on pink, which to me, I would hesitate to put pink on red, but it worked okay. And then this was another doodle. I don't have his button on there yet. He is supposed to have a crow, I think, sits on his hat. And I don't have that done. So you can see that it wouldn't take me long to do a lot of these. This one is by Bent Creek. This is Scary Stack by Bent Creek. And I think this turned out really cute. It's looks like it's probably a 32 count, all either Gentle Art or Weeks Dye Works threads. And I think that turned out real cute. I'd like to get that one done this year. This one is a Mill Hill. Don't know the name of it, but back when I worked at the needlework shop, I bought a lot of stuff and just have it stuck away, and every once in a while I'll run onto something. It's like, I really ought to do that. So I did this one, and you can see it has green and orange beads on the roof, black beads up on the top, white beads for the ghost, orange beads for the pumpkins, the black beads for the black cat, and then the witch button. So that's that one. This one is by Work Basket, and I think it was a free pattern at one time, and then I think you can also get a bunch of these Quaker ones. I've got some of them in book form, but the books that I have, I did not have this one, so I'm not sure if this one ever went into a book or if it was a free pattern. But this was using, I know this was Threadworks, don't know the color, but this is Threadworks. I know, well, when Threadworks was originally Needle Necessities, I knew they were going out of business. I don't think they were being bought out at the time. I think they were just going out of business. So I bought as much Threadworks as I could. If I found it anywhere in shops, I bought up a lot of it. So I'm glad that Threadworks now owns the whatever the Needle Necessities business, and we can still get their threads because I really like to stitch with them. This quail was out of a Just Cross Stitch magazine. I finished it last year, I think, or it could have been the year before. There's 3 of them called Woodland Animals. There's a quail. Oh no, I can't remember. I think there's a quail, a hedgehog, and what was the third one? I cannot remember. But anyway, I got the quail done, and you can see there the little gold dots are they're gold beads, and then the little coppery looking beads are on his chest. So that's him. And then I need to finish I want to do the other 2. This is Liz Matthews. You all know this one. This is Merry Christmas. Let me try to... I need a board so that fan won't be flipping everything. Okay, this is Merry Christmas. It was a free chart by Liz Matthews. I stitched this year before last. And I did this on a linen 2/2. And then I just chose my own colors in their DMCs. This one was something I got off of Pinterest. But I have no information on it at all. So anyway, I did this one, I think year before last, might have been last year. So have no clue on that one. And that was a terrible chart when I printed it out. It was a terrible chart to read. This is another one I got off of Pinterest. And the linen on this is a 40 count 2/2 using just looks like it could be 321 floss, DMC 321. And again, this was not an easy pattern to read. It was better than the other one, but this tail, I don't know what was supposed to be in that end of the tail. I couldn't tell from the chart. So I just did this little like fan using one strand. and it's Red Bank School. Isn't it crazy to have this many patterns and then our finished pieces and then I don't have them finished up completely? Maybe with doing Flosstube now I can be a little bit better about finishing. This one was a free pattern, I believe, at the time. I did this last year. I've had this pattern for a long time, but this is Jacob with Modern Folk Embroidery. He was doing a black sampler November, and so I picked this out, and then these buttons are from my mom's button jar, so they're antique buttons, and I love this button right here. So don't know the fabric. This I think I dyed myself, so I don't know. Yeah, I dyed that one myself. Most of them I dye myself. I don't buy very much fabric that's not dyed by someone else. Occasionally I will. Now we are down to the ones I actually have patterns for. This one is Praiseworthy Stitches. We're doing pretty good about not having so much glare today, too. I don't know why. Sun's shining out there. Not great, but it's shining. So this is Yellow House Sampler. And I did this one over one on, it looks like a 36 count. So this is one thread over one thread. Let's see if all right, hang on, I got to get a board. This is just, I'm gonna have to get a piece of foam core board for next time. All right, so there is 1 over 1. And that says, be my ambition only to excel in the bliss art, the art of doing well. And I even put my initials on it right there, which I never do. Okay. Next one is anagram. And I don't know, it just says anagram. Let me show you this first. It's by, I'm not even going to tackle that name. It's by whatever that says. Sorry, I don't hold things very still. I have shaky hands all the time, so I can't hold them still very good. I do find stitching, it's just when I'm holding something up. So this is there. And I think I dated that 2008. I put my initials on it. Wow. All right, this one, R&R reproduction. So the first one or two that I showed you that was little that I said I didn't have a pattern for, they're by R&R Reproductions. Mini Motif Sampler is what this is called. And I did this little ship right here. And so I think the other one is Mini Motif Sampler, first in the series. Now why this pattern was in there and the other one isn't, I don't know. But this is my little ship. I like patterns with ships. I have a really neat one I'd like to start, but it is huge. And I believe it's from the UK that I'd love to get it started. I have fabric for it, but I just hold off on starting new things. This was finished in 2020. All right, this one was a little kit, and it was by Serendipity Designs, and this is my finish on it. This one we are familiar with because it's fairly new. This is Luminous Fiber Arts by Misty Purcell, and it's Boohoo. And I showed these recently. I have both of them finished, and they'll become little pillows. Probably little pillows, I don't know about maybe a flat fold. I just like the way flat folds store, but little pillows don't take up too much either. This one is by Lottie Da, Wicked Witch. Ding dong, the witch is dead, the witch, oh wait a minute, ding dong, the witch is dead, witch oh witch, the wicked witch, ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. And I did this on some type of linen. It's looking lighter there. Yeah, it's still looking light. Turn it sideways, let's see. It's a little better like that. That's more of the color. It's a little darker than what it's showing up. And I used the silk threads. It only used 2 needlepoint silks, 998 and 996, which DMC would be 310 and 844. So I used the needlepoint silk. My daughter got me this, my oldest daughter got me this for Christmas one year. So I finished that one up, I think, in 2022. Well, that's 2020. Also, that was the year that we just all stayed home and stitched. Flowers in a Row by Annalee Waite Designs. It's really pretty. I like doing flowers. So I did this. It's got, this is one I dyed myself that I think that has, it's hard to tell, well, you might be able to see a little bit of it. It has like little splotches of green, but they're hard to see. Can we turn it sideways? It's mottled just a bit with some very light green. So that is Flowers in a Row. This one is by Bright Needle. I don't think they publish anything anymore. I did this one a long time ago. I have several Bright Needles. They tend to stitch 1 over 1. You could use you could stitch 2 over 2. There wouldn't be a problem with it, but they just tended to stitch 1 over 1. So this is called the Dollhouse. And let me get a piece of fuzz off of there. This is the Dollhouse. The bird, the chimney sweep. My husband used to have a chimney sweep business. He had the whole top hat. He never wore it, but he got the top hat. Little girl's room, little boy's room, the baby's room, I guess. Baby's room and hers. Is that a spinning wheel? I don't know. Can't tell. Then a little boy's room. Looks like they had a lot of kids. Living room. Fireplace. Dining room. Kitchen. So this is the Dollhouse by Bright Needle. This one is, how's my time? 59 minutes. This is the longest I've ever done, I think. This is Lacy Pinks by Debbie Draper. I'm not really a pink person, but for some reason these are old. I guess I liked pink at one time. I'm not much on pink anymore. But I do like this pattern. I would do something and hang it up if I just get in gear. This is even weave. It looks like about a 28 count ivory. And it's using a variegated thread. I don't know if it says on the back here. No, it doesn't. Well, it says Carrie's Creations, thread, magenta. And it says included. So I don't know, maybe it was in there. Okay, next one. It's Berry Time by Blackbird. All right, I'm going to use both hands. I do better with both hands than one. Berry Time by Blackbird. And I did not use the called for color on this. You know how when you don't have very good light, I thought I was picking a burgundy or a dark red, but once I got stitching on it and got it in good light, it was more of a purpley red. So but it's pretty anyway. I mean, you could do this in any color and it would be pretty. Try to do that. So I think that's really, really a pretty piece. I like these long, I like thin designs that go horizontal or vertical, either one. So I think that turned out really pretty. Has a little specialty stitch. Sometimes my stitching doesn't look as good as it could be, but if you can see, there's little specialty stitches on the berries. All right, next one. I believe my husband got me this a couple of years ago for Christmas. It's called Peace Tree by Little House Needleworks. Came with the button and the silk thread, which can't remember what silk thread. Belsois and icing. So I did it on, I think this is just a raw linen. And I liked it. Let me do this. I like it, but then I thought, oh, that would have really been pretty if I'd used that white silk and done it on a dark green or a dark red or, you know, something along that line. But I do like it. Then this one I finished not too long ago. This one is Country Cottage Kids by Country Cottage Needlework. And she sells seashells, which I like beach themed cross stitch pieces. Not all of them, but an awful lot. And I was going to put this one in our camper because I have a lot of beachy is my camper theme. So I thought that was cute. I got so tired of stitching sand though. Sand and water. This, let's see, big piece of black fuzz. Okay. She sells seashells by the seashore. And then down below it's different types of shells. Starfish, conch, scallop, cockle, and I'm trying to read it backwards. Sand dollar. And there she is. Then I'm getting almost down to the last ones. This one I stitched last year by Madame Chantilly, Pumpkin Thieves. I just love this piece. I really like Halloween though. I like cute Halloween. I don't like scary and gory Halloween. I like cute. And I did mine on this fabric that I dyed myself. It's just a kind of a dusty blue. But I think she's really cute. I changed the balloon color. It's, as you can see, it was green on here. It looked cute on here, but the color they called for, I think, was 513 or something. To me, it was a mint green, and I did not like. I liked the picture. I did not like the floss after I pulled it. And I thought, well, purple's a good Halloween color, so I picked that. I think I changed the orange and the pumpkins and the back part of the balloon, and I also changed the yellow. So she's cute. And then this was one of my latest finishes. This was May Calendar Girls, and I have 3 others that are fully finished. I have the fabric for the backing. They're all getting the same backing. And this is her. This is on even weave that I dyed myself. And then next to the last, I showed this recently, but it's in the box, so I'll show it again. This is Pandemic with my scraps of fabric on the sides. And this was a New Year's Day finish for me this year. I was hoping to finish it by New Year's Eve and have it a 2021 finish, but I did not make it. And then on it, I've shown in my previous video with it. Well, if y'all could see this right side up, it'd be a little bit more logical. All right, let's try it again. This is Pandemic by Long Dog Needlework. No, Long Dog Sampler. And I stitched it all in 3847, except for the Plague Doctors right there, and I did them in black. So I really want to get that framed. I have one more left, and there's the pattern. I just printed out a PDF. I got it when it was available for free. So I have one left, and that brings us to giveaways for 3,000 subscribers, which, like I said, I never thought I'd have very many at all, much less to get to 3,000 this quickly. So and that's all due to you all watching and liking and subscribing to my videos. So it's all on you guys for getting me to 3,000, and I want to thank you all so much for doing that. So in appreciation, I wanted to give away 3 things for 3,000. We hit 4,000, I may give away 4 things, or I may give away 1 thing. I don't know. Just kind of depends. So for my last Under the Bed box, it is Call of the Ocean by X Appeal. It's not a real good picture, but I did this one right here. And it says, once the ocean called my name, my heart was never quite the same. And this is my stitched piece. Let me do it. Let me see if I can do it this way. And it's done. It looks, well, it's probably the color shining through. It's not a blue. It almost, to me, it looks like it's coming across as a light blue, but it's just an off-white. So I did that one, and I am going to give the chart away. So since this is my first giveaway, I need to make sure I do the whole YouTube rules. Make sure you're at least 18 years old so I can legally ask you for your address. This is available to anyone in the continental United States. I would like for you to be a subscriber and like my video, and then you'll comment below the video with the keywords. And the keyword for, let me see, is there anything else? Don't say the words free, giveaway. You all are probably familiar with all that. Any kind of word that would attract somebody that would search under giveaways or free. We don't want it. I don't want these going to someone that's not going to use them. I don't ever enter any of the giveaways. I have so much stitching of my own, and I feel like as a Flosstube person, it's almost like you're not eligible and this is my view. So if you're a YouTuber, if you're a Flosstuber and you enter contests from other Flosstubers, I'm fine with that. It doesn't bother me if you do that and if you win. So don't take this wrong. But since I have a Flosstube, I have so many cross stitch supplies, and you all are the ones that got me to the 3,000. You're the viewers, and I just feel like you all are the ones that should be getting the prize, not me. So I don't ever enter a contest from any other Flosstuber. So anyway, this one is going to be number 1. This is going to be, the key word is going to be ocean. O-C-E-A-N, ocean. So if you would like this chart, comment below in the comment section with the word ocean. Now this is going to get a little bit strange, but this is the way I wanted to do it. The next one, number 2, is 10 skeins of DMC floss. And you can see all the different colors. So there's 10 skeins of DMC floss. Now the key word for this one is going to be beach. B-E-A-C-H. So if you would like to enter to win the 10 skeins of DMC floss, put beach in your comment below. And then third is some fabric that I dyed myself. This is an 18 count Aida cloth. This is a little piece. It's probably 6 by 8. I'll do a small piece. This one is, I don't have a tape measure. This piece is another one that I dyed myself. It's also an 18 count, and it just has, it doesn't, this is just a fold line. Or you could cut it up and use it into something else too, but it's just been folded up. So these two fabrics that I dyed myself are going together. And the key word for this is sand. S-A-N-D. So these are all going to be beach related keywords. So ocean, beach for floss, sand for fabric. And if you want to make something up that uses all 3 words, just go ahead. I'll have just one winner per item. So like if the random generator, here's the thing. I'm going to try to do the random generator, you know, that pops up things, all that. I don't know if I'm smart enough to figure this out. If not, I'm going to go down through all my comments. I'll pull all the comments when you mention it, and then I'm going to draw. I saw somebody the other day that just wrote all the names down on pieces of paper, and she drew out of a box. So if I can't figure out this random comment picker, then I may have to do that. But you can enter for all 3. You'll only win one of the pieces, one drawing. But yeah, if you want all 3, just enter with all 3. If you want one, just put the one word in, whatever. I'd just like for you to be a subscriber and like my videos, and I think that's it for today. So I appreciate you all sticking with me for 7 videos. I'm not going to stop. I have so much more to show. I could keep going for a long time with everything I have and collections that I have. And I collect just about any kind of sewing accessory. So sometime I may work in some of those too if you want to see it. But anyway, I think that's about it. I've rattled on. I'll have to show you Tootie. Tootie has been sleeping very quietly here on the ironing table I have here. I have a TV tray that's covered. So Tootie has been sleeping very well and being a very good girl. So this is all for today, and I will see you in a week to 2 weeks, and we'll have our winners, and I will announce them then. So in that time, you all have a good week or two, get lots of stitching done, and I'll see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.